Well. Good evening, good evening, my brothers and sisters. Welcome to the dinner table. Your brother Tony has prepared a good meal for you this evening. Come on in. I hope that you have enough room for me to give you some good food for the soul. If this is your first time at the dinner table, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Tony M. Toomer, and I talk about relationships. I talk about relationship basically from a biblical point of view. And when I say a biblical point of view, I strongly believe that God established the pattern of how a relationship should be. God originally, he had a unique relationship with the man Adam. Secondly, he had a unique relationship with the woman Eve. Thirdly, God represented the woman to the man after taking a rib out of the man. The man identified that the woman came from him, that man being Adam. And he said in reference to Eve, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh, I should call a woman because she came from man. That's the position that I come from when it comes to a relationship. God established the pattern between a man and a woman in the book of Genesis. Now, as I said, if this is your first time at the dinner table, you have what is called a free will. You can do whatever you choose to do. But if you sit here at the dinner table, I basically talk about a relationship between a man and a woman from God's point of view, okay? I'm going to talk secular, but it's going to always go back to God's point of view, okay? And I would like for you all to know that I'm on two different platforms. I'm on the book and I'm on the tube. Those of you that are on the book, I may say something to those that are on the tube. You will not see their names and comments, but they are brothers and sisters, okay? And the same thing, those of you that are on the tube, I might say something to those that are on the book. You may not see their names or comment, but they're brothers and sisters, okay? And I would like for you, brothers and sisters, to feel at ease, whereas you can ask questions or make comments at the dinner table because we family here and we may have some guests. So if you're a guest and if this is your first time at the dinner table, feel free that you can ask questions and make comment, but be very respectful because we're family here, okay? And with that said, we're about to look at the menu. But before I look at the menu, I see that Sister Flo has sat down at the dinner table. How you doing, Sister Flo? I see what Sister Cynthia has sat down at the dinner table. I see what Sister, I hope I pronounced this right, Shania Universe. Welcome to the dinner table. So we're about to look at the menu. And on the menu for tonight was man created with the ability to love more than one woman equally. How you doing, Sister Tiara? Welcome to the dinner table. Again, when you look at the menu for tonight, was man created with the ability to love more than one woman equally? This is what we're going to talk about this evening. Now, my brother and sister, do you believe that a man has the ability to love more than one woman equally? Do you believe it? Do you think the man have everything is equipped to love more than one woman equally? I mean, equally in all ways. So there are some men, my brothers and sisters, that entertain multiple women at one time. And there are some women that accept the fact that the man that she's in a relationship with has another woman or women. And that's what we're discussing at the dinner table. Sister University, I don't think so. And Flo said, no, my answer. Okay, now let's go to the book of Genesis first, and then we're going to have a little discussion about this, okay? Now, when we go to the book of Genesis, chapter 2, 22, again, it's Genesis chapter 2, 22. Genesis 2, that's chapter 2 and 22. And Sister Cindy said, no. Okay, sisters. It said, then the Lord God made a woman from the rib he had taken out of man, and he brought her to the man. Listen very carefully. It say, the Lord God made a woman, singular, from the rib he had taken out of man, and he brought her to the man. Now, the question is, why did God not bring more than one woman to Adam? That's the question. If we keep this in mind, Adam had everything. He had a good relationship with God, and everything was set up for the last part of God creation. And the last part of God creation was the woman. The woman was the cherry on top of God's creation. And after God created the woman, but prior to God creating the woman, God made this statement. He said, "It's not good for man to be alone." Now, some people, and I know some of you have heard this song before. I have heard it, and different people walk around saying, the song was, "All I need is King Jesus, and I don't need nobody else." But guess what? King Jesus was in that conversation with God the Father and the Holy Spirit when the quote came out, "It's not good for man to be alone." Even though man had a unique relationship with God, God is the one that said it's not good for man to be alone. So when God made that statement, God created a woman singular for the man. Now, God could have, if he chose to, make more than one woman and bring them to man. He could have done that, but God chose not to. But there is evidence in Genesis, and I'm going to let you all do the research. The first case of a man having more than one woman, it's in the book of Genesis. Just look in Genesis, and you're going to see the first man. I'm going to give you the first letter of his name. It's El. He had two wives. That's the first documented case of a man having more than one woman. So the sense that God made one woman for the man and to be equally yoked. That's true. Now let me tell you something. Now we're going to talk about this. When a man has multiple women, it could be taxing on that man's mind. It could be taxing on that man's emotions. It could be taxing on that man's body. And it could be taxing on that man financially. So, if a man is in a relationship with more than one woman, listen to me, sisters, because I hope that I'm not talking to any of you. But if a man is in a relationship with more than one woman, and you know that that man is in a relationship with another woman, as a matter of fact, sisters, some of you, not all of you, but some of you have been in a relationship with a man and you had knowledge that that man had another woman before you. I didn't say all of you. I said some of you. You ain't got to raise your hand. But some of you have walked that road before where you knew that there was another woman in the picture and you accepted it. Or you were the original woman and then the man got another woman and you was okay with it. Let me tell you this. From a man's point of view, listen to me carefully from a man's point of view. A man can date or be in a relationship with more than one woman. He can do that. He can be in a per se relationship. But the key thing is, can he love more than one woman equally? And the answer to that is an emphatic no. If a man goes beyond one woman, you see, God did not create a man to love more than one woman equally. He never done that. When man failed, everything went out of whack. When I said failed, when Adam and Eve did what they did in the Garden of Eden, everything went out of whack. So God original plan was for one man and one woman to be husband and wife. He never planned on a man having multiple women. But some people would say, well, I read in the Bible where King David had more than one woman. What do you say about that, Tony? I heard that even his son his son Solomon, the third king of Israel, had 1,000 women at one time, 700 of them being wives and 300 of them being concubines. Answer that, Tony. Now, it's evident, and then there are some guys that will come here at the dinner table, and they will use those examples of David, and they will use that example of Solomon to justify having more than one woman. But what they really, really need to do is really look at it. When David had more than one woman, he had more problems. Especially his son Solomon, when he had 1,000 women, and that's not no exaggeration, he had multiple problems. If a man, listen to this, there's a difference. If a man is following God, you are going to suffer more when it comes to multiple women than a man that is a worldly man. What do I mean by that? Worldly men have no knowledge really of what they're doing. Let me tell you sister, let me tell you this. Most of the time, when a man have more than one woman, let's say a man have a main woman, because guess what? There is going to be a main woman. Don't let nobody fool you. There's going to be one main woman. If the man go beyond two women, one of them going to be main. Let's say the man dealing with two women. If the man is dealing with two women, then he's not going to love both of them equally. If both women live up under the same roof, and both of them are okay with the man having two women up under the same roof. So you got woman A and woman B, and they all up under the same roof with one man. However, that man, he's not going to love them equally. I don't care how much he try. He cannot love all them equal. And let me tell you this. If any women that are here at the dinner table, you are either going to be one or two women. You are going to be the main one, or you're going to be the side woman. We could say side chick or whatever. But if you look at it from a biblical standpoint, you could be the concubine. And let me tell you this. And some of you have heard it before, what I'm about to say, and some of you have not. A while back, a young lady got in contact with me. Like I said, some of you have heard it before, some of you haven't. There was this one woman, she reached out to me, right? She was aware of Cinderella. She was fully aware of it. This woman, when she got in contact with me, we conversated. I thought she wanted to do some consultation, right? Because I do relationship counseling, right? So I thought that she just wanted to do some relationship counseling. No, she didn't. This woman was straight up. She was straight up and straight to the point. When I talked to her, this is the proposal the lady put out to me. She said, Tony, I know that you are married. She said, I know that you are married, but I want us to have a relationship too. Now, she put this out there in front of me, and she lived out of time. She a retired woman. So she said, I said, for entertainment purposes, I wanted to know where she was coming from. When she first said, she wanted to be in a relationship, and she know that I'm married, I already knew that wasn't going to go too far anyway. You know what I mean? So that's right, Sister Cynthia, and that's right, Sister Universe. Yes, she did. So she said that she stayed out of town, and she said, I said, how this supposed to work? She said, I will move where you're located. She said, I will move and I have a house. And she said, I'm not telling you to leave your wife. She said, I'm not telling you to leave your wife. And I said, well, how does this supposed to work? She said, when I move there, The only thing I want you to do is everything that you do for your wife, do for me. How you doing, Sister Cheryl? Welcome to the dinner table. She said, exactly what you do for your wife, I want you to do it for me. That's all I want you to do. I said, that's all you want me to do? She said, yeah, everything you do for your wife, Cinderella, I want you to do what you're doing for your wife. How you doing, Sister Nikki Harden? How you doing, sister? So I said, how this gonna work? She said, even if you talk to your wife and she okay with it, we could all live together. I said, I don't think they're gonna work. So anyway, that killed that. But let me tell you this. When a man, and this is what I discovered, when a man is quote unquote in a serious committing and covenant relationship, this right here, it is called, it's a wedding band, right? But it's also a chick magnet. It's a chick magnet. What do I mean by that? Sister Cynthia said, not possible with women. Yeah, it is possible, Sister Cynthia. This is a chick magnet. Let me tell you this, sisters. I know I'm not Billy D. Williams. I know I'm not Eldridge Ebert, whatever that guy name. I know I'm not Denzel Washington, but I can hold it down. But let me tell you, and I'm not blowing my horn, but when you're married or if you're married or engaged, it's easier if you chose to, it's easier to get more than one woman without putting in much effort. Why do I say that? Because there are some women out there that they prefer being in a relationship with a man that's married, or if the man is not married, they prefer being in a relationship with a man that's in a relationship with a woman. And I know a lot of you have heard that before. There's a lot of women that pride themselves on being side chicks. Are you all aware that there are some women that actually pride themselves on being side chick? But you see, the thing about it is this. Let's say that the man is in a relationship with a woman already, and he deal with a woman on the side. Let's say that the man is straight up with the woman on the side. If the man say this to the woman, look, I'm married, or I'm in a relationship, quote unquote, with a woman. If he tell this woman that he's in a relationship with another woman, Sister Cheryl say, some like the idea of taking a man from a wife, notch on the belt. That's right, Sister Cheryl. And Sister Cynthia said, yeah, I have heard that. Shake my head. It's true. Now, if the man is straight up with the woman and let the woman know, look, I'm married or I'm in a relationship. The thing about it is he giving that woman a choice to see whether or not she down with it. And believe me, a lot of women are down with that. You know why? Because they say at least he's straight up with me. Now, let me tell you this. The Bible say that there's nothing new under the sun. If a woman knowingly get in a relationship with a man that's already, especially a man that's married, she need to understand this. The chances of that man leaving his wife is not real high. It's not real high. It's very minimum that he's going to leave his wife. When I say leave his wife, I'm talking about out the house and everything. And a lot of you have heard this before when it comes to married men or men, quote unquote, they call themselves in a relationship. They could blow a whole bunch of smoke in a woman's ear, but they know how to leave their wife, especially their wife, they know how to leave them. And I'm not telling none of you sisters to raise your hand up, but some of you know what I'm talking about because some of you have been the other woman. The man could tell you all these things to swear your head up. He could do all that stuff. But bottom line is he's not going to hardly leave wife. Some of you have know of a woman. Some of your girlfriend have probably had came to you and told you some horror stories about a man. Thank you, Sister Nikki. Nikki Sati have told you a story about a man that say he loved me, he this and that. She told her girlfriend, right? She told her girlfriend that the man is married or in a relationship, and then she go back to her same girlfriend and tell her girlfriend how wrong he doing her. He don't spend enough time with him and all that kind of stuff. But you know what? A lot of time at the beginning of a relationship when a man is already married per se and he dealing with another woman, if he straight up tell the woman I'm married, and she might act like she understand that he's in a relationship. She might act like she understand, but you see, the tide's gonna turn, especially when he sleep with the woman. You see, that woman, if the man is saying the right things and doing the right thing, taking her out and stuff, guess what? And he talking to her, he calling her in the morning, he's sending those good morning texts and all that kind of stuff. And he talked to the woman and she feeling good, especially she ain't in a relationship with another man. And the man, because she think that the man is safe because it's him and his wife and now it's her. And let me tell you a myth, some of you sisters. If a man, some women think that, okay, I know that he's married and I'm in a relationship with him, so I know that it's his wife and me. Let me tell you this. A lot of time the man you may think it's you and the wife, but it could be you, the wife, and somebody else. You understand that? It could be you, the wife, and somebody else, or somebody's else. So that's why you should get your own man. That's how I was taught. That's right. Let me tell you, because some of you now, when the man and the woman start spending quality time together. Now, there are some women that will say, how can he be married and he's spending all this time with me? Because he doing it. But don't he get up out of that bed and go back to his wife? Or and this is another thing, when it come around to those marquee holidays, like what's coming up real soon? Thanksgiving Day, right? Now, a lot of time, the side woman, she more than likely have introduced the man to her girlfriends or her family. But more than likely, not all the time, but more than likely, that man have not introduced her to his family and all that. Now, some men, they would probably take the woman around his guy friends, or if his wife and him is separated, some he may take around his family. But more than likely, if a man is married and he call himself halfway doing right, he's not going to take that other woman around his family. He may take her around his friends, but he's not going to hardly take the woman around his family. How you doing, Sister Cynthia Smith? Sister Cynthia, the other sister said, all that, they bought your men, Brother Tony. I'm telling you, sister. So you got to understand this. So what happens? Some women, they act like they understand that the man told me the truth, that he's in a relationship. So long he's straight up, everything is good, hunky-dory, right? But what happens? He start love bombing you. He start telling you some stuff that you've been wanting to hear from a man. So now you getting emotional. You getting emotionally tied to that man. And when you get emotionally tied to that man, and then what happens? You end up getting horizontal with the man. And you know what I'm talking about. You get horizontal. And when you get horizontal with the man, then you say that you're in love, but you may not tell him then. So as long as this man is talking to you, taking you out, spending quality time with you, and then y'all getting horizontal quite often, guess what's going to eventually happen? If you the side woman, you could call the side woman the concubine or whatever, eventually, and I'm telling some of you sisters, if you the side woman, sister, you know what you're going to eventually do? You're going to eventually, after a session of being horizontal, you're gonna eventually ask them, you're gonna eventually say this to them, ask the man the question, is this all to it? That's what you're gonna eventually ask him. Is it what type of relationship? You know what type of relationship you got. The man is already married, so you already know you the side chick. Now you get all emotionally entangled. You know why you got emotionally entangled? Because you allowed that man to get into your mind. He got your emotions. You gave him your body and all kinds of stuff. And now you know what? It was going to happen anyway. You know why? Because when you born with a man, especially physical, after the emotional, it's going to change. If your name Dorothy, you're not in Oz anymore. Once you leave Kansas and go to Oz, you can go back to Kansas, but Oz is still in you. You can't change it. Once you get horizontal with a man, you can't change it. There's nothing casual about sex. It's more than exchanging body fluids. I always say that. Sister Cindy said, mind, body, soul. Don't do it. That's right. It's nothing casual about it. You're going to get bonded. It's a natural thing. It's a spiritual thing. You was created that way. Once you sleep with a man, you and that man are one. You understand? One times one equal one. You're going to be emotionally tied to that man. Your soul, your mind, your will, and your emotion, and your body. You going, it ain't no ifs and buts about it. So let me tell you, a lot of women, when you know that a man is in a relationship with another woman, you want to tell your girlfriends about this guy, right? You might even introduce this guy to your girlfriends and stuff. He might even know that you might even take him around your family. But you put yourself in that situation because you shouldn't have done that. If you knew that the man was in a relationship with someone, you shouldn't have done it anyway. You put yourself in that position. Now, let's say if the man lied to you. If the man lied to you, there's still something there. If he lied to you and you got emotionally entangled with him and you got horizontal with the man, then you're still going to be soul tied to him. You know why? Because God created you that way. That's why God do not want us to be physical with a member of the opposite sex unless you're married. Now I'm guilty, and I have told you, sisters and brothers, a whole lot of time. I'm guilty of it because I used to be out there. I used to be out there. I can't count how many times. I can't count how many times. You know what I mean? I can't. If I start counting, I have to say, I stopped counting. Ain't no meaning in the car, I forget. And I'm just being transparent with you, sisters, okay? Now, what does that mean? That means that I was bonded with women, plural, right? And the only way I could break that, I had to be in Christ. So when I got in Christ, all that stuff, all those bonding with different people, Christ broke it. Whether I felt it or not, he had to break it. He had to clean me like I never done all that stuff before. So I can understand. I can understand. But you know what? I did not lie to no women that I was in a relationship. One thing I did wrong, but I did not lie to a woman that I was in a relation. I wasn't in a relationship with another woman. I never led a woman to believe that she was the only one, unless she was the one. Now, and that's another thing. Like if in some you sisters, you're dealing with a man right now, and he will not commit to you. Why is he not committing to you? Want me to tell you the secret why? Want me to tell you the truth why? You're not the one. You are not the one. Because I always say this, a man knows within a short period of time whether he see you as a wife or not. He really does. Now, when a man is dealing with more than one woman, and the women have knowledge of it, let's say that all the women, let's say two women is living up under the same roof as the man. He don't love them equally. He cannot love them equally. He could try, but he cannot love them equally. And guess what? Out of two women, one gonna know she's number one, and the other one gonna know that she's number two. And you see, a lot of men that got this, and there's a lot of men, you know that, sister, that got this relationship where the women is living actually up under the roof with them. And then they want to talk about, they want to use the Bible thing about King David and Solomon. And like I said, when David had more than one woman, he had problems, especially his son Solomon. Let's talk about Solomon. Solomon was following after the Lord, right? You see, it's more than just a secular thing, it's a spiritual thing. If a man of God is following after the Lord, and then the man is dating multiple women, what's going to happen is they going to pull that man's heart away from the Lord. The prime example is King Solomon. Because the Bible, out of all of Solomon's wisdom, the Bible say, but Solomon loved strange women. That meant that the women out of 1,000 women, and I'm not exaggerating, 700 wives and 300 concubines, out of all those women, not one of them believed in the same God that Solomon believed in. So what did Solomon do? Solomon tried to please all of those women. He started worshiping their gods. He started building an altar to their gods. And that's what happened when a man trying to love. You all remember that song a long time ago. You all remember that song. It called Trying to Love Too. Sure not easy to do. I know you have heard that song. Trying to Love Too is not easy to do. Something like that. I know you have heard that song before. And it's true. No man, and I'm a witness, you can't love two women at the same level. You can't. One is always going to be, so since you remember that song, one is always going to be the one. And everybody else, I'm going to give you a situation. Let's say a lot of men and women go around saying king and queen. You know how that title thrown away. Not thrown. Well, I could say it's thrown away, but it's thrown out there quite a bit. Let me tell you this. Let's just say a man is actually a king and a woman is a queen. It's only going to be one queen, and everybody else are concubines. What is a concubine? A concubine is actually a side woman, but he would treat her like she is a wife. He would do everything as if it was his wife. But the queen is the one that sits on the throne. The queen is the one that he danced with at the ball. The queen is the one that everybody acknowledge. They may know about the concubine and stuff, but the queen sits on the throne. And that's what a lot of side women do not understand. Only the queen sits on the throne. And it ain't no ifs and buts about it. Let's make it practical today. Let's say that a man is married, and let's say he's financially taking care of another woman. He paying all her bills. All her bills, he doing that. It's the same thing. When a man, and they call it today a kept woman. That's what they call it today, but it's the same, it's a concubine. You know what? His wife may actually know about this other woman existing. Let that man die. And let that house be in that side woman or concubine's name. And everything be in that man's name. If he die, that wife could come and throw that woman out the house and get everything that's in her husband's name. And that kind of stuff happened too. Let's say if the man is and his wife is separated, they could be separated for many years, and he get in a relationship with you. It could be 20 years. You done bought a house together and did all kinds of stuff. His family and your family know one another. His family consider you the daughter-in-law, the wifey. If that man die, his wife could come from, if you south, she could come from the north and clean up everything. That man could be retired, get a pension and everything. You ain't getting nothing. That wife, long as she was married, even though she's separated from the man for 20 plus years, and she could have a boyfriend living with a man. She's the bottom line is she's still his wife. She come and clean up everything. And you call that house your home. That's not your home. That's his wife's home. You just stand there for all those years. You done entertain people, but and it's gonna be a sad day if that man die and your friends look at you. And that wife and came and took away everything. So what I'm saying is this: no man can love no woman equally. No woman equally. Now the question is, why would a man go out there with another woman? Let me be real serious with you. Most of the time, when a man dealing with another woman or women, majority of the time, not all the time, but majority of the time, it is physical. Sister said, that's right, as long as she didn't remarry. That's right, Sister Cynthia. Most of the time, when a man dealing with another woman on the side, I ain't saying all the time, but most of the time, Sister Sheriff Ferguson said, wife do, and the wife take it all. That's right. Most of the time, sister, you got to understand it. And when I say you sister, I'm talking about some of you sisters in Christ, that some of you, not all of you, but some of you are dealing with a man that's married. And you got to hush her. Some of you, I ain't saying all of you, some of you are, or some of you have been. And it's good that you didn't got out of it. As a matter of fact, if you're dealing with a man like that now, you need to get out of it because some things going to go down. And let me tell you this. You sisters out there, if you are in a relationship with a man that's married and he happened to leave his wife for you and you knew he was married, and I have seen this happen over and over again. You knew this man was married and he leave his wife for you and you get married to him and you think that you exempted, right? What do I mean by exempted? You think that he's not going to see no other woman. You think it's just going to be you. No, it's not. It's either going to happen sooner or later. If you had knowledge, Sister Sheriff first said it happened to a woman in our home church. That's right. If you, sister, knew the man was married and you was dealing with the man and he divorced his wife and came to be with you, the eventually going to happen to you. You're not no exemption. Listen to what I'm saying. You're not no exemption. He's going to start seeing another woman or women on you. It's just a matter of time. Sister Cheryl first said the same you got him is how you lose him. That's right. I'm telling you now, some of you sisters, if you're dealing with a married man and now you in love with him, and he gonna leave his wife, or let's say he have already left his wife. I'm talking to some of you church sisters, right? That man left his wife for you. Eventually, if it haven't happened now, eventually he gonna start seeing another woman or women. And not only that, guess what? You may eventually start being with another man or men. There's no exception to the rule. Everybody play a fool sometime. No exception to the rule. I'm telling you, it's going to happen. You're no exemption to the rule. So the sheriff first said you can't trust him. And that's right, you can't. So don't ever think that you got to up and up on the wife. Now I can see this. If the man lied to you and you didn't know he had a wife. Now that's possible. That's possible that you didn't know. And then you got married. Now that's a whole nother fear. You didn't know. He really snowballed you. You didn't know. But I'm telling you, being a man, if I had a woman on the side, I cannot love a woman at the level like my wife. I can't. Because guess what? She's my wife. If I decide to do that. If I make an agreement with a woman, you my woman, and she said, I'm your woman, how is she going to compete with Cinderella? Let me tell you this too. Let me tell you this. Let me address this myth. There are men and women. I'm going to make this both sides of it. There are men that, so you see, some of you think that when a man step out, it's because he got a bad, rotten wife, right? No, he can have a good wife. Don't you all thought that the woman have to be doing the man wrong and stuff for him to do that? No, he doesn't. Because like I'm telling you, most men that step out is basically for the physical part. Now, some of you were saying, can he get that from his wife? Yes, he can. And his wife may give herself to him plenty of times. But Parliament, and I know you all have heard of the group Parliament. It was a song, Nothing But the Dog in Me. Bow wow wow, yippee yo, yippee yay, bow wow, yippee yo, yippee yay. You all remember that song, some of you old school. Some men, they mentally think, I'm just going to deal with her on a physical level, and that's it. But you see, even though he's thinking that, it's still going to be a soul tie. It's still going to be a soul tie. If he sleep with that woman, you're gonna be a soul tie. You can't avoid being soul tie. Or, and worse than that, is the emotional thing. Now, some of you brothers, listen to this. There are some women you don't even have to sleep with them, but they can be emotionally tied to you. You all remember that movie? I don't know what the name of it was, but Beyonce was in the movie, and Idris Elba, whatever that guy name was, remember that? Idris Elba, if I pronounce her name right, and then Beyonce. Remember, the woman, he never slept with this other woman, but she got emotionally tied with him. And Beyonce thought that her husband had an affair with the woman, but he didn't. There are some women, brothers, that you got to be careful. You can't get that close to them. Not only don't sleep with them, you can't even get emotionally hooked with these women, because some women, even though you didn't touch them, they can get emotionally attached to you. Sister Cynthia Ferguson said, many men today are entering polygamy marriage, and the woman know that they are marrying a man who already married to someone. Amen. Amen, sister. Oh, yeah, Sister Cynthia said obsession. You all, yeah, thank you, Sister Cynthia. It's obsession. So, brother, you got to be careful. You got to be careful. The woman could look real good. You all remember that other movie too, right? That movie called what the name of that movie? Michael Douglas and Glenn Close. I always use that movie. It's called Fatal Attraction. You all remember when Michael Douglas slept with Glenn Close over the weekend? His wife and his little daughter went to be with her family for the weekend. Michael Douglas slept with Glenn Close one weekend. I mean, they were sleeping together all that weekend. And then when his wife came home, thank you, Sister, and his wife came home, Glenn Close, she told Michael Douglas she would not be ignored. You see, in Michael Douglas' mind, he thought we would just, yeah, that's right, Sister Tierra, Albert, Beyonce, and Ali Lauter. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. So let me tell you this. You cannot avoid a soul tie. You cannot avoid it. You can't. There's no way you can avoid a soul tie. Because when you get horizontal with a member of the opposite sex, it's never the same. It's never the same. The only way you're going to get released out of that, Jesus got to take you out of it. So let's say if a man or woman never met Jesus, everybody that you got horizontal with, you got them in you. You got their energy. You might not think about them, but you got their energy around you. That's why right now a lot of men and a lot of women, they got these messed up relationships because they got these soul ties and they go from one relationship to another relationship to another relationship. Sister Singh said, the movie is a thin line with Vivian Fox. Okay, I know what you mean. Okay. Glenn Close was a nutcase in the movie. Yep, that's right. You all know what I'm talking about. And you all remember that. Glenn Close, she was kind of, nutty. But let me tell you this too. Some of you brothers, listen to this. Some of you brothers, if you're dealing with a woman and she get emotionally tied to you and you sleep with her, but you're not serious about her, and then she come and do the Jasmine Solomon thing. She bust the windows out of your car, scratch your car up, and all that kind of stuff. You see, you want to call the woman crazy, right? It's not that she crazy. She is soul tied to you. That's what it is. When she got emotionally tied to you, then you slept with her. Now she emotionally tied to you, and she wants you. Yeah, that's why she bust the windows out of your car like Jasmine Sullivan had that song guy, and she flattened your tire. She come to your job and clown out. She come to your house and all kinds of stuff that looked to be crazy. It's because she was soul tied. And let me tell you this, some of your sister, you better be very careful about some of the guys you're dealing with. You think you got it under control, right? But so you got to understand your makeup. What is your makeup? You are created, you are emotional. There's some men that are emotional, but you're emotional. You think you can handle it, right? You think you can handle it right now, but if you keep on, that's right, Sister Sheriff, you keep on having conversation with this guy, you get close with that guy, you start being horizontal with that guy, you going to be locked in. And right now, there are some women, as well as men, but there are some women, they're in a relationship with somebody else, but they think about that guy on the other side of town. There are some of you guys, you are in a relationship, you could be married, brother, and it could be years, but your mind's still on that other woman. You know why your mind is still on the other woman? Because you soul tied to her. You soul tied. All it takes is one phone call, one text, and it's on and popping. Thank you, Sister Cheryl. Sister Cheryl said you cooking tonight, Chef Tony. Thank you. It's on and popping. All it takes is one phone call, that's all. One text, that's all. And how does it know to start off? What you doing? How you been doing? I miss you. Can we have lunch together? Can we have brunch together? Can we have dinner? I mean, it ain't really nothing. It ain't really nothing. Let's just go walk in the park. Let's go to the gym. You still go to the same gym? Let's do that. Let's just hang out. Let's go. As a matter of fact, let's go to Starbucks. Meet me at Starbucks. I know you like that Starbucks coffee. As a matter of fact, meet me at the that place that where we used to go. You know what the name of that place where they got the TVs and all that. Yeah, that club. You know what I'm talking about. Just meet me for a drink. That's all I want, just a drink. And the next thing you know, you have separated yourself, but those strings start coming back together. You start getting locked up again. And the next thing you know, it's gonna happen. You know why it's gonna happen? Because you're familiar with that person. That's why it'll be so easy for you to fall back in. And let me tell you this, sister. You cannot, that right, Sister Universe, you cannot take a man from a woman. There's no such thing as a woman taking a man from his wife or a man taking a woman from her husband. No, it's a choice. It's a choice. If that person leave his or her spouse, it's a choice. You didn't do no taking. But it also say whatsoever a man reap, that he's gonna sow. No, whatever he sow, he's gonna reap. So, sister, whatever you sow, you're gonna reap. Brother, whatever you sow, you're gonna reap. Let's say, for example, you did that. You run to God and say, God, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, God. I knew he or she was married, God. I knew it. I'm sorry, God. I won't do it again. Guess what? God will forgive you. He will forgive you. But he still got a law that's called sowing and reaping. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. You think when you do wrong, that a lot of time when we do wrong, we run to God and say, God, I'm sorry I did that. I won't do it no more. And you might be real straight up with God. But you still got to reap what you sow. That's just like when you was a small child, my brother, since you were small. Even though you told your parent, I'm not going to do it again, your parents still got that belt down or that switch, that Hot Wheel track, that extension cord, a tree trunk, and still whoop you and still love you at the same time, right? But you still were disciplined. It's not punishment. You see, punishment and discipline is different. If you are a son or daughter of God, he disciplined you. If you're not a son or daughter of God, he punish you. So it's a difference between punish and discipline. If you do wrong, you're going to be disciplined. Let me tell you this. That's right. Hot Wheel track, Sister Cynthia. I got a Hot Wheel track. I did. You know what? If DFAT was around, I wonder if I would have called DFAT. I got a whooping with my own Hot Wheel track. But anyway, that was the closest thing my mama could get at that time. Come in, Tony. Grab my Hot Wheel track. But anyway, you all know about those type of whipping. They can't do it. You can't do that kind of stuff no more. The extension cords and all that other stuff. You can't do that no more because those children call the DFAT people. And you be at work and they teach you being called DFAT, and then they come to arrest you. But that's another story, another topic. But what I'm saying, listen to this. A man was not created with the ability to love two women equally. You can't. Because you see, and the more women you have, you see, you're dealing with different women mindset, different emotional set, the body and all that. Brother, you can't please those women equally at the same level. So since I never got hidden with those things, I'm glad you haven't, Cynthia. But let me tell you this, brothers, listen to this. If you have more than one woman, you can't satisfy both of them. It's hard to try to do one, but when it get to two and three and all that kind of stuff, even if even if you call yourself the man and you got two or three women living up on the same roof, somebody gonna be left out. There's always a ranking system. It's always gonna be a number one woman, a number two, and a three and a four. How you doing, Sister Janet? It's always gonna be you. You know what, sister? If it's more than one woman in the mid, let's say it's two women, you are either one or two. It ain't two ones. And you're gonna know what place you in without the man saying anything. You're gonna know whether you number one or you're gonna know whether you number two. Ain't no doubt about it. You going to know. We can't love you, sisters, on the same level. We could use the word "I love you." You can't love two women equally. Somebody gonna be number one. Now, some women would say, "Okay, he married, and but he with me all the time. Does that mean he love? That mean he love me than his wife? Okay, if he love you more than his wife, why he still married to her? Why he still get up out of his bed and go home? Why is it when Thanksgiving comes, and this gonna really be an eye opener? A lot of women on Thanksgiving Day, and that's on, okay. The day is November the 11th or 2023. A lot of women, you have your life wrapped around this man, but you know he married. You know he married. And overall, he love his, he love his wife. Whether you believe it or not, he love his wife. And you're in the same city. He may see you, he may not. But guess what? If he got a pretty decent relationship with his wife, he going on Thanksgiving, he gonna be around his wife. He going to be around his wife majority of the time. So the sense said, for many, marriage is a business decision. Oh, that okay, it could be. That's right. But let me tell you this, sisters, and I hate to say this. Now that I got a sneaky suspicion that some of you sisters, not all of you, but some of you sisters may be the other woman. But let me tell you this: if you the other woman, this is what you can get on Thanksgiving Day. He's gonna be around his wife and family. He's gonna take care of that. If he quote unquote a decent man, he's going to be around it. He's gonna make sure he around his wife and family. Okay. He may see you Thanksgiving. He may try to take care. He might tell his wife, I got to run an errand right quick. So he might come to see you the early part of Thanksgiving and get you over with. Especially they're going to eat Thanksgiving dinner and stuff later on in the evening. Or if he don't take care of you early, he's gonna get you when everything is over with at nighttime. When everything is over with, that's when they're gonna see you. So you over to your family's house, and your family asking you where Rico at. What you gonna say? Rico is with his wife. Now, like I said, he may have time, he may make time to see you, but and you know what? You might not see Rico knowing on Thanksgiving Day. Unless he pull one of these, he might pull an argument with his wife. And you see, that's what some men do to see the side women. They start an argument with their wife. They see a piece of lint on the floor and say, why that piece of lint on the floor? Any stupid stuff. Just start an argument to get out the house to be with you. Anything. That's how some men do it. And if you ask the man, how was your Thanksgiving? He might tell you it was okay. It was okay. He don't want to get details with you, but you want him to be detailed with you. He really don't want to do that, but you want him to be detailed with you. So I hope that I told you, sister, something that you should know, and some of you brothers, I came out the playbook. No man can love more than one woman equally. You either gonna be, it's a ranking system, 1, 2, 3, and 4. You either gonna be number one or number two or three or four, however many you got. And if you think you're lonely now, wait till Thanksgiving. I love you, brothers. I love you, sisters. I hope that you got something out of this. If you have any more questions or comment, put it in the comment section. Just put the word excuse me. Just put the word wait down there, and I'll wait for your question or comment. Other than that, I'm glad to be with you. I know I've been gone for a little while, but I have been posting stuff on social media and stuff. You know what I mean? I have been posting stuff, but you know, I'm going to try to show up more regular at the dinner table, and I hope that you all be able to come back into the dinner table, okay? I love you, brother. I love you, sister. Thank you all so much for being at the dinner table. Sister Janet said, yeah, a lot of dudes do that childish crap. I'm sure mature women know that much. That's right, Sister Chandler. Let me see. Sister Cynthia said, wait to criminal. Oh, yeah. Wait to criminal time. Oh, that's going to be some hard. There's going to be some hard on some of you, sister, criminal time. Christmas just ain't Christmas without the one you love. I love you, brothers. I love you, sister. Thank you for coming to the dinner table. Take some of this dinner with you. Get a carry-out plate. I'm going to clean up the kitchen. You ain't got to worry about the kitchen. Your brother Tony going to clean up the kitchen. You all have a good night. Remember this. Believe this. C'est la vie. Peace out. Good night.